الحمد لله الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم حميم والكتاب المبين إنا أنزلناه في ليلة مباركة إنا كنا منذرين فيها يفرق كل أمر حكيم أمرا من عندنا إنا كنا مرسلين اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما نافعا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم صلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. Our dear respected brothers and elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a great opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has enabled me and you to sit here. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to inspire me words that becomes the means and the reason for the deliverance in the day of Qiyamah from the fire of Jahannam. Within my short span of time, I would like to get to the depth of my topic of today, and I would like to explain to you explicitly through the Quran and Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There has always been two categories around the world within the scholars, that they have different matter, especially of the 15th of Shaban. There are one category who completely rejects this night. They say this night is bid'ah. And there are some categories who go to extreme. They do ifra, they go to extreme, they do beyond, they extravagance, they overdo it. Extravagance. Islam is not a deen to overdo it, not to extravagance. Do within the framework of this deen. This deen has a framework, brothers. You have to understand this. This religion is a deen of a framework. Don't go beyond the framework and don't go beneath the framework. So there are two categories. Some completely they reject it. They say it's a bid'ah. Some they go beyond boundaries. They extravagance. And some people they completely denote it. They don't even give it any value. Now, today I want to explain to you within the hadith and within the opinions of the scholars, what we got to seriously get this understanding that what is bid'ah. This is number one. You got to really seriously understand what is bid'ah. A bid'ah is that thing where there is no existence within the Quran and Hadith or in the life of the Sahabas or in the A'immas, this is called bid'ah. If you cannot find a single hadith referring especially and talking about Nisfu Sha'ban, which we say Shab Barat or Laylatul Barat, what they say, but in reality it's called Nisfu Sha'ban, then you can say this is bid'ah. But if there is existence, and so much so, I would like to explain how much explicitly in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam we find. The scholars, they have written that it has been narrated from 10 companions. If one hadith which is da'if, weak in its narration, when it's narrated from 10 companions, that hadith is not weak anymore, brothers. You've got to understand this. And you've got to, another thing I want to mention, when it comes to usul hadith, everything has a usul, everything has a law. Quran has a law. Fiqh, it has a law. Usul fiqh. Usul hadith, hadith has a law. Within, they have a law. Before you study the hadith, before you actually study hadith, you've got to understand the usul of hadith, the foundations of hadith, the laws of hadith. Within the laws of hadith, when it comes to fadail, the scholars, they do not differ, or they do not say, the muhaddisin, they don't differ about when it comes to fadail, about virtues. Now, one thing I want to mention, Nisfu Sha'ban, what category is Nisfu Sha'ban? Is it farz? No. It is wajib? No. It is mu'akkada? No. Is it nafal? Optional? Yes. Something that is optional, we should not overdo it. We should not over extravagance. Something that's optional, we say in our language, we don't even have any track of our farz, and when it comes to nafal, we are becoming so much argumental. We are becoming trying to prove our hadith. We're trying to prove our masla. We try and prove our what? Nafal. Something that is optional. Brothers, we don't need to argue over these things. These things are matters which have been settled for many, many years. Now, number one, let's look in our aslaf, in our a'immas, do they accept the night of Nisfu Sha'ban? Imam Tirmizi rahmatullah alayhi has quoted a bab. A bab means he has quoted a chapter on the virtue of Nisfu Sha'ban. Imam Abu Dawud has brought a hadith, and that hadith, that is the only single hadith which is Hasan. There is another hadith narrated in Ibn Majah, even though it is narrated but is weak. But as I have mentioned very clearly, if you collect all the hadiths together, the hadith is not weak anymore. Now let me mention to you this. Likes of the scholars of the past, Imam Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah, he says this is Laylatul Mufaddala. This is a virtuous night. It is a great night. Like today, very recent scholar, where a lot of, I don't want to say, but a lot of youngsters, they follow him. Nasiruddin Albani. He has collected Sahih Hadith, Da'if Hadith. He has collected and he has distinguished between Sahih and Da'if. Sahih and Da'if. So within his Sahih Hadith, he has put Nisfu Sha'ban in that book. You go and look up and go and do your homework and find out. Now my question is, did the Aslaf accept this night? Yes, they did. Do we find proof from hadith? Yes, we do. Is there any existence in hadith? Without no doubts, there is existence. Now the question is, as I said, that we should not do extravagance and we should not completely denote it and cut it off. How do we spend this night? Some people, there's a category of people, they have made this night a night of making lectures from Dhuhr to Asr, Maghrib to Isha, Isha to Fajr. This is bid'ah. This is wrong. Because we don't see in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we don't see this. We don't see this in the Sahabas, we don't see this in the A'immas. Some people, they have made this a night of feeding people, the night of giving shinni, yeah? Feeding people, giving food and bringing so much food to the masjid. This is not in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some people, they have made their farz ayn. that once Nisfu Shaban comes, let's take the ulamas, let's take the scholars, and let's go to the graveyard and go and visit the graveyard. Look, I want to mention about this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrated by Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha. She says that an Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha قال فقدت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليلة فإذا هو في بقي. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have lost him one night and I realized that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was in Jannatul Baqi. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Hazrat Aisha, "Atkunti takhafina an yahifa Allah wa Rasul." Ya Aisha, do you think that Allah Ta'ala will do unjust to you, O Aisha? She said, "Ya Rasulullah, I did not think that, but I thought that you have gone I thought inni dhanantu innaka ataita ba'da an-nisa. I thought that you have gone to some of your wives. You have left my night and you have gone to other wives of yours." Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did he say? He said, "Inna Allah Ta'ala yanzilu bi manzilatin nisfin min ash-sha'ban ila sama'i ad-dunya fayaghfiru li akthar min 'adadi sha'ri al-qalb." Allah Ta'ala reveals Himself in the beginning portion of the Nisfu Sha'ban after Maghrib, and He forgives everyone according to Bani Sha'ri al-Qalb. Bani Sha'ri al-Qalb was a clan, was a group where they used to have sheep, and He says according to the sheep's hair Allah Ta'ala forgives. Now the question is, how do we spend this night? What is the method of spending this night? Because it's nafal. As I mentioned, according to our Hanafi maslak, according to the maslak of Imam Abu Hanifa, reading nafal salah with ijtima collectively, it is makruh tahrimi. So if you want to collect together and read nafal salah, this is makruh tahrimi. You cannot do. So what is it? It is an individual deed. It's an individual act. It is an individual deed. You can worship in your home. If you feel good, you want to worship in the masjid, no problem, worship in the masjid. But don't make it a night of a collective night. Don't make it a night of a collective night. Let's all get together and let's make a night that people can remember this night. This is not a collective night. It is an individual night. It is an individual worship. And this is very vividly clear from the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As we see in this hadith, Hazrat Aisha, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not even, who is the most closest person to Rasulullah? His wife, Hazrat Aisha. He did not even inform Hazrat Aisha about the night. Hazrat Aisha came and she started to inquire that where is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he informed Hazrat Aisha. Now, let me explain to you something. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when anything was to give emphasis or when some importance to show, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he himself, he would initiatively, he will either speak about it, or either he will worship about it, or he will do something and then he will stop afterwards. For example, miswak. He says that inni amartu an astunna bis-sawa. I would have ordered you to do miswak all the time, but I have a fear that this maybe will become farz upon you. That's why sometimes I let it go as well. Sometime, for example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was not sunnah. It is sunnah to read tahajjud, qiyamul layl, but for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to read it all the time. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the tahajjud is in the category of sunnah. Now another thing, for example, Taraweeh, Salatul Taraweeh. We find in the hadith of Bukhari that 3 constant night Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam done Taraweeh, Salatul Taraweeh, but he let it go. Because if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam done something continuously, it would have become mandatory upon his ummah. That's what it was. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam having mercy upon the ummah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to come one level down. He had mercy upon this ummah. Now, this Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not order, he did not give hukum, he did not practically take the Sahabas out and say, let's go and do this together. Did he do this? No. He went out and Hazrat Aisha came afterwards and inquired. So which means the level is, it is an individual act. And how do we understand this? How do we understand this? Like in the hadith, it says, "Ala hal min mustaghfirin fa aghfaru," narrated by Hazrat Ali. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu, Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu. He says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Inna Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yaqul, ala hal min mustaghfirin fa'arzuquhu fa'aghfir lahu, ala hal min mustarziqin fa'arzuquhu, ala hal min mubtalin fa'u'afiyahu. That if a person in this night he's asking Allah forgiveness, I shall forgive him. If he's asking for provision, I shall provide him. If he's asking for someone who's in difficulty, I shall remove his difficulty. Look, Allama Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi going to another extent. He's going to one step ahead. Allama Ghazali is that alim or that faqih. They say he was a hujjah. He was a hujjah of his time. He was when he written the book of Ihya Ulumuddin, they say that he was one of those scholars amongst the scholars who revived the deen. He has written a book, Makashifatul Qulub. He said in this book he's written that 15 days before Ramadan, it is a preload before Ramadan. And not just this, he says that the people of the Ummah, like the way we have two Eid, the angels, they rejoice and enjoy the 2 nights. One is Nisfu Sha'ban, another one is Laylatul Qadr. So big scholars like this, if they have mentioned, how can people say there is no existence? There is no proof of a great night like this. But the thing is, today, as I have mentioned, we have gone extravagance. Now, a night like this, there are some categories of people, they have been cut off. They have been cut off the list. What is this? Narrated by Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu. He says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Inna Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala liyattalu ala al-ibad yaghfir li jami' khalqi illa al-mushrik wa mashahin. Allah Ta'ala forgives everyone, but He doesn't forgive those people associate partners with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And those people, al-mashahin, those people who have hatred in his heart, those people, brothers, for without any base, without any reason, people have hatred for his Muslim brother. A great night like this, a great night like Laylatul Qadr, and a great night like Nisfu Shaban, his dua will not be accepted. So if you have hurt anyone, or if in your heart you have some sort of ill thinking about someone, brothers, for the sake of Allah, in the house of Allah, forgive. If you forgive, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate your status. Remember, Allah ta'ala clearly says in the day of Qiyamah, don't stand and come to Allah until your hearts are not clean. If you have some sort of a differences within the ummah, within your family members, your wife, your children, your cousins, then lift the phone up and phone them, or give a text to them and say to them, please forgive me if I have done something wrong to you. When you start asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate your status. Another category of people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forgive is those people who qata'ul rahm, those people who breaks the relation with his family members, his cousin, his relation. He doesn't talk, some people they don't talk to their uncle for years. Some people they don't talk to their brothers for years. Some people they don't talk to their family members for years. A great night like this, his dua will not be accepted. Some people qat'ul walidain. Some people have broke relation with their father. Over what? Petty issues. Over little money issues. His father maybe took from him £100 or maybe £1,000. He stopped talking to his mother. Stopped talking to his father. How unfortunate is that child who breaks relation with his parents. How unfortunate that child is. May Allah give us the tawfiq to understand. So another category, the ulamas they say that a great night like this, isbalul khamar, those people, isbalul idar, those people who makes his trousers go beneath his ankles, wa mudminul khamar, and those people who are always intoxicated and drinking alcohol. Not just this, I will make it very vivid and clear, brothers. Some people say that look, kalimatu haqq walau kana murran. Speak the truth. Muslims, brothers, Musliman, listen. Speak the truth even if it tastes bitter. Brothers, I have to say, those people, forget about drinking, those people who are selling alcohol, those who have the alcohol or transaction with alcohol. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, very clear hadith, he says that those people who sell alcohol and those people who hold the alcohol, al-ba'i wal-hamilu, those people who hold the alcohol and those people who serve the alcohol, they all are in committing sins. So brothers, let me tell you this. A great night like this, you make tawbah to Allah. Oh Allah, forgive me. Oh Allah, tawbah, inni atubu ilayk, astaghfirullah, atubu ilayk. And the next day you go back and you start serving the alcohol. Brothers, this is dukkha bazi. This is you are doing dukkha with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, has it not come a time for us to change as a community? Has it not come to a time for us to change as a society? Has it not come for our time for us to become beacons and examples for our children? Brothers, please open your eyes. Don't be in this. Come out of this. Be an example for your child. Be an example for your children, so that your children don't follow you. If you're going towards Jahannam, your children are following you. Brothers, do you want this to happen? Or do you want to go to Jannah, or you want to take your children to Jannah with you? Yes or no, brothers? Yes. Please answer me. Yes. Brothers, we imams, we scholars, we imams throughout the whole nation, we only think for the best of the nation, the best of the community, the best of the musallin, the best, so that people say we are creating fitna. No. Please take this out. Let's get this notion out of your mind. We don't create fitna. We are trying to rectify your deeds. It's like a father and a child. If a child makes a mistake, what does the father do? As soon as he makes a mistake, he says, don't do this. He said, don't do this. If you do this, then this is what's going to happen. Why does he say? Is it because he hates him? No. Answer me, please. No. Is it because he hates him? No. No, brothers. It's because he loves his child. He loves his daughter. He loves his Muslims. He loves the ummah. He wants the whole ummah to be saved from the fire of Jahannam. So the same thing, in the same manner, you've got to understand, brothers. So brothers, if you make this is a night of tawbah, without no doubt, it is a night of tawbah. It is a night, it is a great virtuous night. But brothers, remember, when you make tawbah to Allah, make sure you are sincere in your tawbah. One thing I want to mention, ad-du'a, Hazrat Umar, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and many companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to make dua on this night. They used to say, Allahumma in kunta katabna ashqiya, famhu waktubna ma'a sa'ada. Oh Allah, if I have been written in this night amongst the evildoers, oh Allah, abrogate this. Oh Allah, wipe it off for me and make me amongst the good doers. Make me amongst the happy ones tonight. Wa Allahumma in kunta katabna sa'ada fathbutna faktubna fi ummul kitab. Oh Allah, if I have been in this night, this is Hazrat Umar. Remember, this is Hazrat Umar making dua in the night of Nisfu Shaban. He said, oh Allah, if you make me amongst the good doers and the happy ones, oh Allah, give me istiqamat, give me tasbih, give me steadfastness, and write this in my good books of deed. So we see this many hadiths throughout the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So people who say there is no relevant dalil or thubut, I will say to them, you are absolutely wrong, brothers. You are absolutely wrong. You've got to understand that indeed there is no ifrat and there is no tafreed. I have said that we should not do extravagance, go beyond boundaries, and we should not completely cut it off and denote it and say that there is no existence. So I hope inshallah everyone has understood, inshallah. Inshallah. Jazakallah khairan, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.